Salute, salute. Peace and power. Hi. Shalom. Peace and power to everybody. Thanks for tapping in and welcome back. Listen up. About 90% of the world don't care about other people unless they can benefit from them. 90% of the world don't care about other people unless they can benefit from them. And some people take that personal. Why is it not personal to me? Because I'm learning majority of things that I deal with and do is business, or it's like a business transaction. So I'm not worried about it. Like I'm not invested in worrying about how somebody see me. It's business with me. It ain't personal. And I appreciate the people who have told me, if you doing business, you can't take nothing personal. If you taking things personal, you ain't gonna never be able to do business. I'm gonna say that again and I'm gonna slow it down. I'm glad that I was told and taught when something is business, you can't take anything personal. If you're taking anything personal, you're not going to be able to do business. So now that I really fully through and through accept that and see that for what it's worth, it don't matter if people think that they're going to do something with me and I'm going to take it personal because I'm saying it as a business transaction at the end of the day. Do I mutually talk to people? Yes. Do I mutually have conversation with people? Yes. However, I'm still learning. Majority of that is still based off business. It's not based off what I personally feel, think, and or believe. Because I'm not projecting what I personally think, feel, or believe onto other people. And I don't want people to accept what my personal feelings. When I talk about feelings, let me put this out there as well. I'm talking about kinetic energy, energetic feelings, not emotional feelings. Like I feel like I'm right, so people better agree with me. No, energetic wise. You know what I mean? It's like when you touch something, you get that static. It's like you touch something, it's like, oh, that shocked you. Energy like that, kinetic energy, not the energy of emotion. I'm dealing with logic majority of the time. So 90% of the time, I'm going off logic. And my logic might not coincide with others, no problem. But I'm not gonna never ever project what I feel onto someone else because that's my feeling. That's my opinion. That's why I always say my opinion don't mean nothing to nobody but me. I'm entitled to it, yes, but my entitlement don't have nothing to do with the world. I feel like I'm entitled to a lot of things, but that don't mean that it's gonna come to me or I'm granted to get it. So what? And you know what I mean? So that's why I don't base things off my opinion or what I'm entitled to. Just like I'm entitled to my opinion, I'm entitled to keep my opinion to myself too. Just like I'm entitled to what I feel, I'm entitled to keep it to myself though. I don't have to share it. So the same way I'm entitled to it, I should be entitled to understand and learn. I don't have to share it either though. Everybody, and I'm thankful a lot of people don't care about my opinion. I'm thankful that I learned on my own that my opinion don't mean nothing to majority of the world. So let's just say I could share my opinion with 100 million people. Okay, that though maybe 99 million out of those 100 million people don't care, and that's terrific. So maybe a million people do care about my opinion, and it still don't really mean anything because it's my opinion. It's how I feel. That's why I deal with things from an energetic perspective, from a frequency perspective. And if me and somebody now on the same frequency, no problem. But I'm not going to be upset. I'm not going to want to ridicule somebody or talk crap about somebody because they don't feel what I feel. They don't have to. Their energy ain't my energy. My energy ain't their energy. No problem. However, when it's a fact, it don't matter what I feel. It's a fact. It's a fact. I don't eat right. I don't take care of myself. I'm going to get sick. Point blank, period. It don't matter what my opinion tell me about that. If I have bad eating habits, bad sleeping habits, it's my body's going to tell me that, look, you ain't eating right. You ain't sleeping right. My body's going to tell me that. So it don't matter about what I feel from an emotion perspective. And I got to eat right. I got to get enough rest. I got to take care of myself mentally, spiritually. I got to do that. I got to take care of myself. I can't always rely on somebody else to do that. Again, I can go to the doctor. The doctor can tell me to take this and take that, and I don't listen and I get sick. Or I do listen to the doctor and still don't get healthy. That don't mean I should be mad at the doctor either. The doctor's going based off the education that they have or the books that they read. Everybody's body is different when it comes to medication, when it comes to food, when it comes to sleep, when it comes to things. So I can't just base what I feel or my opinion and project that on people. It's from an energy perspective. So when people can't get something from dealing with me, I'm not mad at that. It's not personal. But a lot of people take it personal that when people deal with them, and it's like, but if they're useless, why should I deal with them? Why should they? If you useless to someone, why should they deal with you? If they can't gain or get anything from dealing with you, why should they? It shouldn't matter if that's your husband or your wife or your kids or your coworker. It don't matter. It's like, yeah, that's my wife, but I'm saying I love my wife, but I can't deal with her when it comes to business. Or I love my husband. I can't deal with him when it comes to my diet. It's like, okay, maybe, you see it as when you deal with your husband, you being a woman, it's like, I can't deal with my husband when it comes to my diet. He don't eat healthy. That don't mean that you don't love your husband when it comes to your diet. You can't deal with him. I can't deal with my wife when it comes to my business. My wife don't know how to budget money. That don't mean you don't love your wife. It's just when it comes to that particular thing, y'all don't see eye to eye. But so many people take something personal. It's like, okay, just because I don't see eye to eye with something about somebody, don't mean that it's personal. You know what I mean? I should be looked at as if somebody can't benefit from dealing with me, they shouldn't be dealing with me for what's beneficial for them, whatever that thing may be. It's like, okay, well, I can't deal with him with that or her with that. It's not benefiting me. That's not personal. That's good that they know what benefits them. And that's good that they have their best interests at hand. Because if I don't, why deal with me then? That would be selfish on their behalf. They're neglecting themselves. Same way with me. I'm neglecting myself. If I can't say, okay, well, I know I can't benefit from dealing with this from my brother, hypothetically speaking. That don't mean I don't love my brother. It's just I know when it comes to that particular thing, whatever that may be, I can't deal with my brother. That don't mean I'm not going to deal with him at all. But when it comes to that, I can't deal with him. No problem. But it's taken personal when people speak up or speak out about that. Like, you know what? Nah, man, I love my girl, but I can't rock with her when it comes to this. I love my man. I can't rock with him when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? My coworkers is cool, but when it consists of the job, I want to chill with them after work. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Or, you know what, when I go on break, I ain't going in the break room and sit with my coworkers. I go to a little park somewhere and sit and eat my lunch, listen to my music or read a book or whatever it is. But when it comes to the job, all right, we could get this done together collectively because we work together. But outside of that, I ain't rocking with nobody at my job. No problem. It shouldn't be personal, but people take so many things personal. You know what I mean? Where it's like, damn, just because they don't see eye to eye about something, they get mad. And again, 90% of people see life like this. It's just that when you start to express it, so many people that know they see it the same way, they just can't take it that the other person was humble enough or modest enough or sincere enough to tell them about it. Like, yo, you know what? Yeah, I know we work together, but outside of work, yo, I don't see us coexisting. It's like, what? It's like they see it the same way, but they wasn't sincere enough or humble enough or modest enough or was blunt enough to speak up and say something about it. That person was. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like that. Like, I'll speak up. I'm not going to speak up in a disrespectful manner or in a manner where they going to feel like they got to attack me back unless their ego is that hurt. Their pride is that hurt. But I'll be like, you know what? Outside of this right here, yo, we don't coexist. You know what I mean? Like, we coexist to do this one thing together. I appreciate that. But outside of this, that's like, when I was making music, outside of the studio, I wasn't trying to chill with the engineer or the producers or the directors. Like, just like, okay, they did the video. Yo, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? That was our connection. I was the artist, they was the director. I was the artist, they was the producer. I was the artist, they was the engineer. Till I started engineering and doing my own sessions. But up until that point, it's like, we don't got to have a relationship outside of this here. And I'm not mad at them. Had they told me that, they're like, yo, I really like your music, but I'm saying, outside of this show, I don't want to chill. So let's just say we both did smoke at the time when I was smoking. It's like, okay, they didn't want to smoke with me. I can't be mad at them. And they can't be mad at me if I don't want to smoke with them. It's like, all right, yeah, nah, I got my own weed. I'm going to smoke on my own. I don't want to smoke with you. Or they got their own weed. They don't want to smoke with me. Just because I ain't got weed, now I want to make it seem like we cool. We got a lot more common because I want to smoke, or vice versa. They're going to make it seem like I'm more cooler than what I am because they don't got weed. We got a lot more common because they really want to smoke, but they ain't want to just make it seem like they wanted to smoke. Or I made it seem like I ain't just want to smoke, so I made it seem like we had a lot more in common. Some people do that. You know what I mean? Because they like, all right, damn, this person got a car. So you know what? I get them to drive me to the train station. I get them to drive me to the bus. Instead of, just being honest, like, yo, I only really was making it seem like we was cool because I wanted you to give me a drop to the bus station. or to the train station. Or I just made it seem like we was cool because that day I wanted to smoke. Or I just made it seem like we was cool because if I made it seem like we was cool, maybe you'll charge me a little less for me to come to the studio. Or maybe you'll charge me a little less for this. Or maybe, it seemed like we coexisting. So now, you won't be as quick to say, yo, I'm out. Or you'll try to spend a little bit more time. Some people know that's the truth, but they don't want to say that. They're going to make it seem like it's not that way. Because they know they agree with the 90% of people don't want to deal with people, and they see people as useless if they can't get nothing out of it. But they're not going to say that. And some people speak up. And when they speak up, people get upset. That's why a lot of people have issues with people, because outside of whatever they deal with each other with or on, they can't admit that that's all it's about. It was a transactional situation. Some women do that to dudes like, I only want this dinner right here. But they ain't gonna tell dude that because they know dude gonna be like, oh, that's all you wanted? I ain't taking you out. Same thing with some dudes. They like, you know what? I'm gonna make it seem like I really like shorty, but after they have sex, they don't want to deal with it no more. Coming into the situation, if they say that now, maybe the female gonna be like, you know what? Nah, I'm saying, I know you just want to have sex. I don't want to go out. I ain't gonna give you my Instagram. Or I ain't gonna give you my number. Or I ain't gonna let you, hit me up on Facebook, or have a, they gonna talk to each other, or he trying to make it seem as if he care and he don't. So now it's like, nah, I ain't gonna deal with him. He just want to have sex with me. At the end of the day, same thing. Like I said, with females, like I'm gonna just use this dude for a dinner. I'm gonna use this dude for a pair of sneakers. It's like if you say that coming into the situation, the other person gonna know. Now it's up to them if they still want to deal with you or not, pertaining to something that's not connected to the situation. But a lot of people don't like to admit it. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I'ma say something because I get it. I don't want somebody to think it's something that is not. If it's only based off, for example, me having a relationship with this person based off sports, I'm gonna tell them, yo, I'm saying if we ain't watching the game, I ain't trying to chill. Yo, I'm saying if we ain't watching football, I ain't trying to chill. Yo, I'm saying if we ain't talking about music, I don't want to chill. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't about you making a beat for me, I ain't gonna come to the studio. Like, I ain't gonna just make it seem like I want to be around or I want to be caught up in something, knowing that I don't. Because then when I get aggravated or frustrated, now me and that person gonna have a falling out. Vice versa, they get aggravated, frustrated. Now they gonna have a falling out with me, knowing they should have just told me, or vice versa, I should have just told them. Because 90% of people don't want to deal with people unless they can gain something from them or from the situation. And I don't see nothing wrong with it. Some people do. You guys get in the comments section and let me know. Also, don't forget, tap in for those membership guys, because a lot of these videos will be on the membership. And if you want access to it, got to become a member. Cash App, New Legend 77. The Cash App, New Legend 77. Till next time, peace, power, shalom, lahaim, assalamu alaikum. Peace, world.